All of chapter 8 is about factoring. And factoring, when you have factors of something, you're basically saying these two pieces will multiply to give me something else. So when I have like the number 15, the factors of 15 are 1 and 15, because those would be 15, and 3 and 5, because those would also multiply to give you 15. So that's what we're doing in this whole chapter, just with slightly more complicated factoring techniques, because you've got binomials and trinomials and variables. So the first method they teach you is just factoring by greatest common factor. And so what you're going to do with that is you'll just look at both terms and you'll figure out what's the greatest common factor. What is the largest thing these both have in common? So in this particular problem, when we're looking at the 4 and the 3, those don't have any common factors, but they both have x's. This has x squared, which is like x times x, and this has just the 1x. So I can take an x out of this. When I do that, you just put parentheses to write what's left. So I took x out, divided in x, so I'm left here with 4x. And here I took x out, so I'm just left with a minus 3. Whenever you're factoring, you can always double check your answer by multiplying. So in this particular case, I would just distribute the x. So I would have 4x squared when I multiplied that, and then I'd have minus 3x. And you can see that those match, so I know I did it right. Here's just another example of that. With this one, there's 3 terms. So looking at my numbers, I can take out a 5. 10, 20, and 5 are all divisible by 5. And then looking at my variables, these all have at least one y. So I'll take out a y. Then you put parentheses, and you're just writing what's left from each term. So this one would still have a 2, because 5 times 2 is 10, and y squared. And then I just bring down that sign. This divided by that gives me 4 and a y. And then this one, 5y divided by 5y. Be careful, you can't think it's nothing. It's actually 1. We still have to have this minus 1, because 5y divided by 5y is 1. And then again, you can always just double check by distributing through to make sure you have the right answer. In this section, they also do something slightly more complicated, where they're going to talk to you about factoring out an entire binomial. So here's what that looks like. If you have 7 and then an x minus 3 minus 2x, x minus 3. So again, this that's being multiplied is one piece. This that's being multiplied is one piece. So we're looking at, with this piece and this piece, is there anything we can factor out? And they actually both have this entire x plus or x minus 3 in common. So that's what you can factor out. You can take this whole binomial, x minus 3, and put it right there. And then just like before, you're taking parentheses and you're going to put what's left. So here we have a 7 that's left, and here we have a minus 2x that's left. And this is that factor. Again, you can always double check, since this is 2 binomials, you would use the FOIL method to check. And make sure that you end up with what you had before. reason that's important is because you're going to learn how to do something called factoring by grouping. Factoring by grouping, let's see here, 12a cubed minus 9a squared plus 20a minus 15. Okay, so when you're factoring by grouping, you basically want to break this down the middle. The first thing you would have to do before you would determine this is something I need to factor by grouping is you're going to look, is there any common factor in the entire thing? So I'm checking, like, okay, these could divide by 3, but this one can't, so that doesn't work. I see these A's, but this last piece doesn't have any A's, so that doesn't work. So you have to kind of rule out that there's no greatest common factor. The next thing you would try is this factor by grouping. So you split this down the middle, and you just look at it 1/2 at a time. So I'm just looking at these two pieces and seeing what are those common factors. And these both divide by a 3, 12 and 9, both have a common factor of 3. And then this has a cubed, and this has a squared. So I can really take a squared out of both of those. And then what that leaves me with here is a 4 and an A. And then what that leaves me with here is the minus a 3. And I got rid of this whole A squared, so that's it. And then you'll do the same thing over here, where you're going to look at just at this part. And then you're going to see, okay, these can be divided by a 5. And what that leaves me with here is a 4 and an A. And what that leaves me with here is a minus 3. These two pieces match. So what that means is now we can go back to what we were doing before, where we can take this whole binomial out. This 5 is a positive 5, so I'm going to just write that plus there. And so we have this 4a minus 3. And then what's left here is the 3a squared. And what's left here is the plus 5. And again, if you really wanted to, you could check and FOIL to make sure that you end up back at this original long piece. And that is pretty much what section 8.2 is going to be about. The only other thing you might want to watch for is just being careful with your signs. So let me see if I can find one that's got some weird signs. With this, because it's not written in order, you would have to switch 6a cubed minus 9a squared plus 8a minus 12. Again, this one isn't going to do anything strange with the signs, but when you go to break it down the middle, this you would take out a 3 and an a squared. That would leave you with a 2 and an a. And here that just leaves you with a minus 3. Here you can take out a 4 and that leaves you with an a minus 3. So this is one where you would then have your 2a minus 3 and your 3a squared plus 4. What I was trying to find was one where if this sign is a minus, you just have to be careful that that can, when you distribute it, can change this sign. And I'm not seeing many, maybe you won't deal with many examples like that just yet. But it's something to just kind of look out for, is making sure that all your signs match up. Like this was a plus, so that was a positive 4. You have to be careful if this sign is a minus.